Welcome to the kitchen. I'm Bryony.
And I'm Tracy. And today we're going to be cooking some beautiful pork loin chops, and I'm going to show you how to do a cider sage sauce. Bryony's going to be making some Croatian carrot, cumin and potato.
No, coriander.
Yeah, what am I talking about? I'll leave Bry to let you know what she's making.
Yes, potato. It's a Croatian Zeje.
Yes,
I love
it's a mashed potato that I learned years and years ago from a lovely friend and colleague, Irene Verteramo, who is Croatian, and she taught me how to make Zeje, which is basically mashed potato with olive oil in rather than lots of butter. So I'm going to start off, I'm toasting some coriander seeds. So when Irene taught me this first, we did a carrot cumin Zeje, but we're doing it with pork, and I find that cumin is not a good match with pork, so I wanted something much lighter and fresher. So we decided to do coriander, which I really like because Bryony's chopping some sage, and we're going to be making this sauce with the sage leaves in it as well, and I just think it goes really nicely with it, so you get this beautiful pop.
It is a beautiful dish.
Seeds. So if you're watching us live, please comment or thumbs up or ask us a question as we go along, because we love knowing you're there. And I know I've had lots of people telling me recently that they watch at work and they
in their lunch break,
in the office, and hello to everyone. It's really lovely to be in your workplace with you today, so thank you very much for watching. So I'm toasting some spice. And this is one question that we get asked quite often in the classes. It's like, how do you toast spice? So it's a dry toast in a pan, in a dry pan with spice, whole spice. It's toasted. And I was thinking actually this morning, which I totally forgot, thinking this morning, that it would be actually quite nice to just slightly crush these. Wouldn't it? Just because as you develop recipes, you start going, oh, I can improve this, I can improve that. Anyway, it's really nice like this anyway, and especially as coriander is so lovely and light. So while these are toasting, they are circular. I've got my stove on at number 6, which is about medium heat, so I'm not going to burn them. And because they're spherical shaped, they only a tiny little bit touches the pan at once. So it's actually a seed that takes a little while to toast, but they start moving on their own as well.
That's right. So if you decide to do the cumin version, cumin seeds only take about a minute to toast, and you can smell them pretty much.
Not even that. If your pan's hot.
If your pan's hot. So we've got the Solar Technics pan, and that was heated through first, so and into a dry,
a little bit of
hot pan.
A little bit of smoke coming up, and I can smell that those are ready. So I'm going to leave the pan on for Bry, who's going to fry some carrot shortly.
I'm just going to get some butter in there to melt whilst you get onto your sauce.
That is going to melt. And do you want to put some of the carrots in there so it doesn't burn? Because it's quite warm. It doesn't look like it's warm, but it is warm. So let's go across to the pork. So we've got some beautiful WA pork here from our local butcher. I'm going to put salt and pepper on those. We're using the Fab Murray River salt. And I'm going to also make sure that I turn these and salt them on the other side with a different hand. Did you like that move? Because I do that all the time, don't I? So, you don't want to touch the pork.
Stick your pork can into the
hopping it back into the salt cellar. Anyway, so I'm doing my pork in butter as well, because I'm going to show you how to make a pan sauce in this frying pan so that you've got a little bit of a saucy dinner. And I love making sauce like this. This is how my mum cooks. She makes it. She sort of makes it up as she goes along.
Right.
I love it.
But we're not making it up as we go along today.
No. Everyone's got a recipe for this one. But this is how I saw my mum cooking as a youngster. Very rarely did she have a recipe book out, and she just seemed to make up recipes as you go along. And I think that's a really great way to be, isn't it? If you get the fundamentals of cooking and you know why we're doing things, you can then be much more mindful as to what you're doing and learn what you're doing. So when you see a recipe, you'll read through it and you'll go, I'd like to change the carrots to cabbage or whatever you want.
And you have done that We did that once, didn't we? Was it cabbage?
Oh, cabbage is fabulous with the
Mashed potato.
With the Zeje. Absolutely. Do you want to season
Yes, I do.
these as
Thank
well?
you.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pinch of salt and pepper, a little bit of pepper. I get a bit crazy.
Yeah. I know, you just got to keep her on track because she's just so all over the place.
I am.
It's really hard working with her sometimes. I'm joking, aren't I? Because I'm that one. She's the organised one. So while this is cooking,
Yes.
do you want to show them how to mash the potato? Which sounds a little bit ho-hum, doesn't it? But we have a potato ricer.
That's
right. It's really, really good.
And I'm going to, I'll get the colander back, put them into the colander. I was just keeping them warm. So royal blue potatoes, we've cooked them through in boiling salted water and just kept them warm in there. Whilst we were talking, you can have your sage over there.
Thank you. I will
right.
need it in a minute. I've just turned my pork.
These potato rices are awesome. Let me just make sure and probably steam up the camera above me. But you can see, do it on the side. There we go. Get this amazing mash with the ricer.
It's such a lovely thing to do because the potatoes offer no resistance, do they? Because they're all so soft, and royal blue potatoes are nice and fluffy, so they mash up really beautifully. So they are really good for mash. So rule of thumb is red skin potatoes.
Yeah, so there's ruby blue and royal blue. Okay, and how's your pork medallions?
Well, my pork, when you're putting raw meat in, just touch the meat before you actually put it into the pan, because what you'll feel is like a feather pillow. So if you've watched videos of us doing this time and time again, I just want to get some colour on those carrots. If you've watched us time and time again, we teach you how to tell whether your meat is cooked by touch. So I'm taking the pork out. It's got a little tinge of colour on there, and especially that one. That one's a nice one, isn't it? And it's still a little bit springy to the touch. I popped it onto, I've just pre-fried these, I'll tell you that in a minute. I popped it onto a warm plate, and I'm just going to cover it with a bowl like that. And
so that's going to help it. It'll keep cooking, won't it?
It'll keep cooking. It'll rest.
Resting.
It'll be, really,
get some
really
nice
lovely
juices. And you're popping it back in the sauce?
I will at the end,
so
just to heat through.
You don't want to cook it.
Absolutely.
Overcook it at this stage.
Come on, carrots, give us some colour. It's just about starting. So what I did before the cameraman started filming was I actually cooked the onions a little bit beforehand. So whenever you're cooking onions, just to speed up things. So this is how you'll do it. You'll cook the meat first, then you'll add your chopped up onion into the pan, into the butter, and give that a little bit of a fry so that we get that lovely caramelization of the onions, and it gives so much more flavor if you've got your onions really nicely cooked, as in they are softened, they're a little bit browned. So a medium sort of high heat for those to get that color onto them, and then turning it down to, I've got mine on number 6. Now Bry's chopped up 15 grams of sage leaves, which is heaps. So I think on the recipe also it's got the sliced. I've got to change that, but if you're watching it live and you're looking at the recipe, it does say sliced onions, but I think chopping is probably a little bit better than slicing. Haha, there's a little bit more colour. Nice. And I can smell that that's fab. So I'm going to add the sage leaves into there, and I'm also going to, now we've got the butter in there. In a minute I'll add the flour to this mixture, and this is what's going to thicken the sauce. So in a couple of weeks' time we're going to be doing another variation on a theme of sauce making in the kitchen, and so we'll talk about that at the end of this cooking of this midweek cooking show. We'll talk about
my potatoes are, I was going to say mashed, and I'm actually going to season these now. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of the beautiful pink salt in there, pinch of pepper, and mix that through. And because potatoes can be a bit bland if they're not seasoned well.
That, didn't you? I was like,
and that's mine. And the olive oil, So this is a great alternative with mash if you don't want to have butter in it. I actually spoke to somebody the other day that said that, they didn't want the creaminess.
If you're dairy intolerant as well.
Exactly. So go with the olive oil, great Cobram Estate. The, was it classic, isn't it?
Yes.
Classic flavour.
And it's up to you. If you want to put the light in, you certainly can.
Yeah.
It's not as olivey, but really much better for you than other forms of oil. And you need quite a lot, so people go,
oh my God.
like that. That's how they go when we put in the oil and we put in the salt. But the flavour is fantastic, and as long as you're using decent salt, this has got iodine in it as well. This is iodized naturally, and lots of lovely minerals in it. Gosh, that's sage. Can you smell that? Beautiful. Right, these are done as well, so they can go in, and
Beautiful.
so can
Thank
your
you.
doodah, and I can
My
finish
doodahs
off
are
the
going in.
sauce.
That would be coriander seeds.
I might move over to here,
Okay.
and I don't feel. That's right. Then I don't feel on the edge. I feel included. So this is like making a little bit of a roux. As we've gone along, the butter has sort of been absorbed, but that still will make a nice sandy roux. And because that's the pan's really hot, as soon as that flour goes into the pan, the flour explodes, soaks up the butter, and is cooked immediately. So if you don't cook the flour when it goes into a pan, whenever you're making a roux, if you're just making a white sauce, then what you'll get is a really floury sort of chalky texture on your tongue when you eat it. So it's important to have that pan nice and hot, cook the flour, and then your sauce will have a beautiful smooth texture. So into this pan on a medium heat, I am going to add some cider. So you got to say cider like that, especially if you're English, because in the West Country they make fantastic cider in England.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. So when you say cider, you've got to say cider like that. But
So
of course, in
nicely
Tasmania, they make fantastic cider as well, and they don't speak like that, do they, at all? Cider.
No, they don't speak like that.
So you can see immediately that cider went in. I allowed some of the alcohol to evaporate off it, so we just get that lovely cider sauce, or the cider flavour, rather than the alcohol, which actually alcohol on its own smells and tastes horrible.
Does it?
Yeah, like pure alcohol.
Oh, in a dish?
Ugh. Yeah, not like cider on its own. That tastes nice, doesn't it? So, also, a little bit of French mustard. I tell you what, French mustard is awesome in sauces, and it really does assist with giving a depth of flavour that is absolutely fantastic. So, into this now,
So
I'm
it's
going to
really
add the
thick.
bulk of our sauce,
Yeah.
which is some beautiful homemade chicken stock that Bryony's whipped up in her spare
Yes,
time.
a la me.
A la Bryony. And we're going to stir this around. Now, bearing in mind, we have just got in here the onions, and we have got a little bit of seasoning on the onions, and we've the cider is sweet, and the mustard is a little bit sort of sharp and funky in there. So we're going to need to
balance that.
at the end.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I love it when you finish my sentences. So we'll just add this a little bit at a time, as you can see, and just give your pan little backwards and forwards movements. That sort of like helps, doesn't it? 'Cause if you just go like that,
Yep.
if you go like that, you can see how the sauce moves at the same time as I'm doing
I
that.
see,
So
I see.
yeah, a little chefy shuffle. Just made that up. So on we go, and then you can tell, or you can decide whether you're going to spill some on the stove, whether you're going to keep it in the pan. Totally and utterly up to you. And Bry's doing exactly the right thing, having a look at the pork, because there will be juice in there now.
That's right.
So would you like to just yum? Because that's
get
the
that
thing
on the camera?
also.
Yeah, with beautiful juices.
That's
not
going to
going
make
there.
the difference.
Yeah.
You pour, and I'll make sure that
All
that
right.
pork
Oh,
stays
there
on.
we go.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's in there now.
And then you're going to pop.
And I'm going to, so I haven't quite put all that stock in there, but I will put a little bit of cream. Now, you don't have to put cream in this, because you could put a little bit more stock in there, and that would be a super sauce.
Yeah, but cream. It's awesome.
But cream, obviously, it's very, very good for your nails and your teeth and your bones. And It tastes really good too,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
but it
So
really
it's
finishes
just a
off the
little bit of
sauce.
cream, and it just makes it a little bit
does.
more of a treat, I feel. Like a little bit more of a treat. So it's up to you. I'm going to turn this right down now because we're on number 9, which is a bit crazy for it at this point in time. Yeah.
But nicely bubbling before you add
So
your...
I'm just actually going to taste the sauce. If I could have a
yes,
little taste.
I need to taste the potatoes
Taste a
too,
spoon.
so
Yeah,
you do
we've got
that.
to taste as you go along. It's most important. So making a sauce is great fun. And this is what I love about this, is that you can go, oh, it needs a bit more of this, or it needs a bit more. Like, you could put lemon in that if you want to.
Well, I'm, of course, putting a little bit more salt.
And me too. Thanks, Murray River.
Yeah. All right.
And when people go, oh, that's so much salt. We haven't got any salt in anything else apart from a pinch on the onions. So we're okay. It's okay.
It's okay. All right, so
I think that's just about the right texture, don't you? I don't want it so runny.
Yeah.
Don't you? Consistency.
Consistency. You want it a bit runny with the mash.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm going to...
Yes.
I love that.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yes.
So, not just saying so myself, although I say so myself, in goes our little chops to make sure that they're nice and
So what cut was
warm.
that?
This is the loin, so it's quite, it's a very lean meat. We've asked the butcher to leave a little bit of fat on there as well.
Keep it
that will
moist.
keep it nice and moist and give it a lot of flavour as well.
I'll take that.
Fat is really important for flavour
Absolutely.
in cooking. So
Stop your meat from going
a
dry.
a little bit of everything, and that is absolutely gorgeous. So would you like to just dump? Because that's how Zeje
dump.
gets served up.
Oh,
is
good.
Dumping.
I'm good at that.
Dumping the
Dump.
Zeje onto the...
In the middle, on the side.
Wherever you want to put it, I can work with it, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
I just know I'm going to put it in the wrong spot.
Oh, not there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I'm just going to get some
Jesus.
carrots to the top because I know that's important to...
I love the carrots can like stick out of the top.
Yeah.
And as you eat, you saw a little coriander seed there. As you eat, you get the little sort of pop of the fresh coriander, which almost mimics the saginess of this sauce as well. So it is really lovely. Try the Zeje by frying some cabbage, white cabbage,
In lieu of the
carrots, steaming some green beans. And
Yeah, I'm going to have some greens with
should
this
we
one.
put 2? Like this, this is for real meat eaters, isn't it? This, but I would say that in my family, this would serve 4, one of these each. You can decide on how much meat you actually want to eat as well, and just a little bit of sauce over the top there. Very delicious.
It is. Excellent.
Should we wipe the bowl or plate?
Wipe
or
the
something?
plate? Yep, you've got a
Just,
thing there.
'cause
I'm just going to try the sauce with the mash
go on then.
because I'm not going to cut into the pork right now.
No, but that will be delicious too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the combo,
yum.
got to try the combo.
And as that pork has sat, it's got much firmer to the touch as well. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
important that you give it a little touch. And
Ooh.
that is really lovely, isn't
is
it?
very good.
What a beautiful meal to keep you lovely and warm inside in the winter. And we also have done that in quite quick time, really,
Yeah.
haven't we? So it's not a long meal to cook, and we got the potatoes on first. That was the main
That's it.
thing, isn't it? To get the potatoes on first and enjoy playing with the sauce. So next week,
Next week, you're flying solo. I'm not here.
flying solo.
Yeah.
Bryce on holiday again.
Yay.
Amazing.
All right. Again.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a little breakfast idea.
That's
but
right.
people might be a bit shocked with this breakfast idea. I'm going to show you how to cook Chinese congee, which is that beautiful sort of soupy, porridgey type rice dish with made with some delicious homemade chicken stock. And we're going to make it breakfasty by poaching an egg, adding some fried bacon.
But it doesn't have to be
and-
breakfast.
No. It
Any
can be
meal of the
lunch,
day.
It can be brinner, breakfast
That's
or
right.
dinner.
All
So
right.
join us next week,
Join her.
12:30.
12:30.
Me. Next Tuesday. And thank you so much for watching today. Enjoy